We're dropping knowledge on Grambo Bros.
You know, everyone says a nitrogen's a nitrogen, whether you give it synthetic or you get it organic. And then people that grow organic, and people are winning cups left and right with this sort of stuff. What is going on in the soil?
The inputs and the stuff that goes into the soil versus only synthetic is why you can take the same cultivar and two different people grow it, and you have completely different terp profiles on it. I've done that with my own friends in our own circle where we have the same strains. They'll run it in cocoa or rockwool or whatever it is that they're doing, and I do it in mine and get a completely different terp expression from it. And our environments are relatively similar, but the media that the plant is growing in is the only thing that's different. So that's what I attribute the more rich and bold flavors to being in soil versus hydro or cocoa.
And is there anything that you need to do differently between seeds and clones? Is there anything we should be concerned as we've got that mix going? If I'm popping seeds or if I'm putting a baby clone in there, is there anything we should know or anything?
So I grow my clones like in veg trays and then transplant them into my beds. It's just kind of the easier and faster way to do the rotations. But regular HP Pro Mix is great for getting seed starts and putting them in there. There's not too much that'll, burn them or make them pissy or anything like that. So I think that's totally fine. And then once I get my clones to the size that I like in like my flood trays and my cycle's up, then I will transplant those into the living soil beds that have the rotations through them. And then at the beginning of every cycle, I do what I call a top coat. And it's just a blend of all the dry amendments that just rejuvenates the soil and allows you to keep using it over and over again without it getting depleted.
Okay. So it's gentle enough, because that would be my concern, just not knowing much about organics. Like, can I even put them in there? Do I got to start them in a half mix? But just out of the box is going to be okay as long as they got nice, healthy roots?
Yep, they should be good to go.
Okay. So then you touched on the next thing I was going to ask. The dry amendments. Mm-hmm. So we've got it in there. We've got our nice base and everything. We've got our cuts in there. They're looking happy. Everything's good. And now once they're in there, you're laying down the dries, not before, but after?
No, I do it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in between each round, I'll cut just the root ball out. So I leave the majority of all the roots in the bed. I just cut the main like root ball from the 4x4 pot. 5x5, whatever it is that you plant it in. And then the earthworms really kind of take care of the roots that are left in there, breaking them down and all of that. And then I'll just pop the new plants. Oh, sorry, I skipped a step. I'll re-amend the beds with the top coat. And then I made like this kind of, they call them like garden weasels, and I welded 3 of them together so it's like wider. And I can lightly roll that into the soil. And then water it, and then within each watering, it kind of seeps low and lower within the bed.
And what would go into the dry amendment?
But it's mostly things like bone meal, blood meal, earthworm, like a lot of castings, like bat poop, earthworm poop, insect frass, like a lot of those amendments.
Okay, what's with frass? Why do they call some kinds of shit frass?
I have no idea why that is. Like the earthworms are castings, the insect frass is frass, seabird guana. You know what I mean? It's all named.
All the poo is called different things. It's so confusing.
Yeah. But essentially, it's just all poop from whatever animal or insect. So
okay. And then, you casually threw it in there. It's like, oh, well, the earthworms will take care of it. Earthworms? You didn't say nothing about earthworms. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I just get simple. You want red wigglers. Those ones are like the composting earthworms. Okay. And we've always, again, I lucked out because I was just taught by this OG who had all of this stuff just dialed 30 years ago, But the earthworms are great for living soil beds because they eat decaying material like old dead roots. They aerate the soil by them just moving through it, and then they poop out worm castings. So they're really like one of the best things from nature that you can throw into garden beds.
All right. And so that wouldn't be the same, that they look different than just earthworms you'd pick up at like the at like the fishing store or something.
Yeah, I mean, they look pretty similar, but it's definitely that type of worm is the red wiggler one.
Yeah, it's a good looking worm right there.
And you can get them. You can get them on Amazon. They have I think the company's like Uncle Jim's or something like that, and they sell like whatever amount you want, and then they come in a bag and they're kind of dried up, so you got to like put a cup of water on them, and then they kind of wake up and come to. And then I just dig a hole in the center of the bed and throw a handful in there, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know how they do this since they don't have eyes and shit, but they apparently can tell how many are in the vicinity, lay more eggs, and make more worms if they think they need more, or they just don't do that if there's enough in the bed. So that's some magic in nature.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy. So how often are you reapplying worms, or is it just one and done? Just one and done. Holy crap. So they just naturally colonize your entire bed, figure out their exact population, the stable numbers, and just go? Yep. It's that. And another benefit of the living soil beds is, like, if you do these things correctly, it's a one and done situation where, you just got to put in soil once and earthworms once, and just keep the microbes happy. And one of the new things that I started doing maybe like 8 months ago is I started playing around with the ferments a lot. And I've been seeing a pretty big and it's strain specific, of course, but pretty big increase in the terpenes and the yields in the hash. And I don't think that, I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but I don't think you get quite the same results in hydro versus living soil with the ferments.
We're dropping knowledge on Grambo Bros.